Hi.
All right, Kim, so I'll let you say
So,
what you need to say.
okay, so we have, of course, a new grand list total. It went from roughly 1 to 3.5. And regardless of that, we had voted the budgets in March. General fund was going to be a total of 763,000, and highway was a million, 119. Of all of those amounts, some of that is offset by revenue. So the first line under each category is what we have to raise by taxes, and that was voted on at the town meeting. So if you look down to the municipal rates, based on the grand list and what we have to raise by taxes, we come up with the tax rates for the general fund, the highway. And there's something called local agreement, which I did give you a list of. Those are some of our properties that we vote to make tax exempt, like such as the Rod and Gun Club or the Farrar Park. And so by making them tax exempt, we as a town actually absorb their cost. And that would be, yeah, the education portion of that. We also give a credit to veterans above and beyond what the norm is, and it's allowed to be as high as 40,000, and we do that. 30,000 is absorbed on the education side for the veterans. And there's 4 of those. So that's what the local agreement is. Those are non-taxed properties. Then you have the state education rate, and they've come in close to significantly lower than last year. The homestead is 0.9739, and the non-homestead is 1.1588, down substantially from the prior year. A lot of that is because we have been reassessed, and our CLA, I think, came in at 1.06.
CLA.
Yeah,
Global appraisal.
right.
Thank you.
And
Right.
so the state has a calculation which defies my understanding. So I just take their rate. They do give us,
Sorry, can you say the CLA one more time?
yeah, it's a common level of appraisal.
Thank you.
And it's it's the number that keeps us at or close to market value. And we are just slightly, I believe, over market value, but not a significant amount. Previously, we were significantly under market value in our assessments.
Right.
So once you combine all the municipal rates with either homestead or non-homestead, at the very bottom, you get our total rate that we would then apply to each tax bill. And the homestead rate comes out at 1.4146. And the non-homestead is 1.5995. When I calculated the amount of revenue coming in just to the town, I think that's what I did. It was 9%. It was not a huge jump overall. So even though our grand list grew substantially, our taxes and our tax rates did not.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Kim, could you say that again?
Sure.
I didn't understand about the part what's coming into the town?
So the town needs about, we have to raise by taxes about $1.6 million for the town. And when I compared that to what we had to raise to the prior year, even with the education rate, revenue taxes, sorry, it did not come out to a substantial increase. It came out to about 9.9%.
I see. Okay.
We do know that the state threw in some discretionary money to lower the school taxes. And we never know from year to year what they're going to do. So it's a year by year, case by case basis.
So
Yeah,
so quickly, did they throw in this money because of the reassessments and they're just kind of easing the blow?
What Chris explained to us, Katie, was the state did not want to have 3 years in a row of excessive tax increase. So they threw $100 million in.
Okay, I
And
remember
this-
now. Right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
And I asked him point blank, was $100 million gonna be there next year? And he said no.
Nope.
So that
Right.
means next
Right.
year, we gotta make up the $100 million plus whatever their increase is.
yeah.
Thank you. All right, thank you for that.
And that was some budget surplus that they had and they elected to put it into the education tax for us, yeah.
Yeah, that come from someplace.
Right, but it won't be there next year.
But it won't, but, right, that's the key
So the big
point.
jump that everyone was expecting this year, sounds like on the state side, on the education side, it's coming next year. Is
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty much what I got out of his conversation.
The state of Vermont is in my opinion, serious trouble
With their education funding, you mean, or in general,
in general money.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen, right? Yeah,
I think a lot of states are in serious trouble.
I think so. I think we're gonna have a few rough years ahead of us.
Hmm.
So you're gonna need a motion to approve a tax rate of 141.41646 for homestead and 1.5995 for non-homestead.
Correct. I need that motion.
So moved.
Second,
Is there any discussion on it?
I just have, so this is what, Kim, you've calculated as using the state's formula, which is confusing at best, but in any case, so this is, can we change that if we want to?
Well, you can change it a little bit, but like I've said earlier, you can't raise excessive funds,
Right.
but you have to be careful you raise enough funds and usually they're pretty accurate. I know of one time when the town had to send a second tax bill out.
Bet that wasn't popular.
Well, it wasn't the state's fault really, it was the listers, and I don't say the guy was wrong, but the state thought he was wrong. They had a lister who said if you paid 500,000 for a place, that's what it went in the books for, because you said it was worth it and you paid it.
interesting.
And so many people appealed and got it brought down that the town didn't raise enough money, so they had to send out the second tax bill.
Okay, so thanks for saying that, because then I have a question about,
Well, let's vote
The
on,
appeals.
or do you want to talk?
no, I'm sorry. I have one more thing about that, and that is, so the Board of Civil Authority has to decide on some appeals, and I don't know how many appeals there are.
There are
but-
5.
Okay.
There's a
so-
total of 8 or 9, actually.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There's 2 nights of it.
Oh,
Right. Okay, so if those appeals result in a lower tax rate or a lower assessed valuation for those properties, then we're gonna be short of some tax money.
Right, but I had a little conversation with Kim and I didn't see him wiping more than 750,000 off the grand list, and we could probably live with that deficit spend and put it on next year's budget if we had to.
The impact is not gonna be that great. Is that what we're hearing?
I think that's what Denny and I discussed, and the grand list is kind of fluid until the end of the year, when by December 31st, it gets locked in. So we'll still have changes based on current use, people coming and going from current use. I do know of one more individual who's going to apply for it, but it usually takes a year to get that approved. So it would have had to have already been in process for it to even have an impact on this grand list. But there are changes that just kind of nibble away or add to it throughout the rest of the year.
But that happens every year, and every
Every
year
year.
you seem to be okay, right?
Right.
That's-
Yes.
The thing that could mess us up, and I never really looked at the number, but there was 200 acres in town given to the state. So we lost that off the grand list.
This year?
2 years ago, was it, Kim?
Yeah, 2 or 3. I think it was 22 or 23.
Okay.
But it was all vacant in undeveloped land. But it was thousands, it was certainly thousands.
And it was in land use, so, like I say, you'd have to sit down and pull all the numbers. But you gotta remember the other thing that's gonna happen to us is these FEMA buyouts. They're gonna subtract from the grand list. And
They're
then,
in the grand list, those 3?
Yes.
yeah, they're in there. And then I understand the guy who owns gas station thinks he wants to buy out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
read
what-
that.
Just think.
But it doesn't look like that's gonna.
I don't think that's gonna happen either.
Well, it won't happen this year anyway, right?
Right.
Unless they do a whole nother round of,
Grants.
Grants and funding.
Right, yeah.
So, it's one of them things, you act on the information you have at the time.
Absolutely.
And if you have to make corrections, so be it, but this is the information we have at the time.
Okay,
Got it.
okay. I don't have any other questions.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Katie?
Hi.
Okay, now we've got another question here. It is required that homestead late filing penalty be approved each year. She wants to know if we approve the late filing penalty is 3% for the tax year 2025.
I move we approve the 3% late filing penalty for the tax year 2025.
I second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I get a vote? Aye.
Aye, it's all approved.
Okay,
Super. Thank you. I hope to have the tax bills in the mail no later than next Friday.
That's 2 days away.
Next Friday. Nice try, Denny. Yeah. I'll be calling you if I need help.
I'm not good with them plastic boxes.
Oh, bummer. All right. Well,
Thank you, Kim.
Yes.
Thank you, Kim.
Your
You're very
vacation.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming in.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I have questions. I'm kind of in a catch-22 situation. I wasn't getting along with the hired appraiser, Ryan. And it was a simple matter as far as I was concerned. And he was being a stick in the mud. Well, finally, the town appraiser we hired made a decision and we sorted it out, so I won't be coming into the BCA, but the question I've got is, should I be sitting in on these hearings when I got a little conflict with this Ryan fella who did the appraisals?
I guess that's up to you in a way, like, can you separate it? Like, do you feel like you can separate it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So could you explain it again? So you had a difference of opinion about something in regard to.
About yours, right? It was your particular,
Well,
Oh, about your property?
It was
yeah,
the
Oh,
freezer
I
people on
see.
Slauson Road, yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I'm sorry.
it's due to the cell tower up there.
Yeah,
That started in 2010. And immediately I get a tax bill.
we're off camera, right?
no, the meeting isn't adjourned yet.
Oh, do we want to adjourn it or no?
Then we get in trouble, three of
no,
us
no,
here.
no, it's.
We have
Okay.
to, yeah, we have to.
Okay, sorry.
So it started in 2010 and I'd get a tax bill for my land and the cell tower and 0.2136 acres of land the cell tower took up. And I'd pay the bill, send it to AT&T and they'd reimburse me. Well, this guy said, oh, you've got to give them a deed to the land to do that.
You have to give a deed to AT&T.
Yeah.
Ah,
And the contractor says, no, all I gotta do is give them a copy of the bill.
mhm.
And he insisted. And then the local listers and this hired one for the town. Because from what I understand, they talked to several people and they said it's judgment call on yours.
Mhm.
But this guy was adamant, and so
I got it.
I'm not enthused with it.
Well, I think Brian has a good question. Do you think that you can be objective about decisions that the listers have made? Given that you don't agree with one of them?
The hired guy, I can't. He's made a couple major mistakes.
Uh-huh. And are the listers aware of those mistakes?
Well, I pointed them out in my letter I sent to them.
Yeah,
Whether they did anything, I think it was too late for them to do anything. So
yeah. I think, actually, my opinion would be that there's a potential conflict of interest here, and to avoid
that's
all
why I'm asking.
appearances, yeah, to avoid all appearances of conflict of interest, I think you should not sit in
That's why
on
I'm
it.
asking.
I don't know, Brian, what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why I was asking what you really felt, and it sounds like this isn't just an isolated situation, you have a larger opinion outside of that situation, right? So then, yeah, then to your point, maybe it's better if you don't.
And I don't think it's a problem if we disagree with him, but I
No,
just
absolutely.
worry about the optics of it. And I hate to say that, but because you have
There's-
probably more experience than anybody else on the Board of Civil Authority,
That's
maybe
right.
Wayne and.
Well,
I
there's
don't know.
not that many of them. I think there's 8 of them, and
Not everybody's there for every meeting, right? Not everybody is there for every meeting, right, on the Board of Civil Authority?
Right, we can break
well, you
it up.
got the Board of Civil Authority, the Selectman, and Wayne.
And the Justices of the Peace.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So there's, in the way I understand it, Wayne's gonna do it a little different this year, so he's just gonna get a group of 3 people, well, they'll make the decision and won't have to bring the whole board.
Whole board together.
Right,
yeah.
right, well, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, I don't know. Katie, do you have an opinion on this?
I do. Thank you. With all complete respect to Denny, I appreciate his asking us of our thoughts. I think that there is a conflict of interest because there's dispute on contracts, and it had to, for Denny personally, and then for the town, and now for the assessments through the state. I understand Denny's frustration in the whole thing, and I would I think what I hear from him is that he's leaning towards backing out. So I don't know. I mean, I think there is optics, but also maybe a part of this is being able for us to kind of go into this with our own kind of open space in mind about stuff, and that's kind of where I think, and I appreciate all of you, but I think that between Ryan and Denny, it's things have, I think it's kind of past like a space of comfort.
Okay,
Thank you.
unless somebody's got something else, meeting will be adjourned.
I don't have anything else.
All right.
So the chair is adjourning the meeting.
Yeah,
All right,
we operate under Robert's rules.
I know, that's
We
great.
I can adjourn it, the whole board can adjourn it, and you know, if things got real ugly in the meeting, I can just get up and say adjourned.
Right.